UK Pro Beez out here at the Emirates. I'm delighted to be joined by an old friend, a fellow Gooner, ahead of the North London derby, the main man, Mr. Kenny Kent. How you doing?
All good, man. You good, yeah?
I'm doing well. I'm really excited. Big game this weekend. The bragging rights are on the line. Arsenal just lost to Liverpool. Spurs just lost to Newcastle. So there's going to be even more spice in this game at the Emirates.
Yeah, definitely. I think, personally, I think this is a good time for Tottenham to play us, because the simple reason is that, if you've lost a game like you had against Newcastle, where you basically had 80% of possession, you only tested their keeper probably about twice. Fans are on their back. There's alleged divisions within the camp, which Pochettino is alluding to, but it's only alleged. This is a perfect game for Spurs, isn't it? Because what's the best way to getting your fans good books? Making sure you come to the Emirates and win.
I mean, I feel like there's it's really close between the sides. I think Spurs probably have the more balance amongst both sides. Arsenal are formidable in attack. But what I really want to talk to you about was a starting 11, a combined starting 11. Now, Danny Mills only put 2 Arsenal players in his combined North London derby 11.
Was that when everyone's fit? Well, the thing about it is that over the years, even when in the last 7 years, if you look at all the combined levels of Arsenal and Spurs, it's always been more Spurs players. The fact of the matter is that the media, rightly so, have gone on the Tottenham bandwagon, because they've evolved from like the side that we used to all laugh at to a top side, and they're a top side in Europe, because you can't get the Champions League final without being a top side in Europe. So that's understandable. I think the media, because of their like I said, the fact that they back Tottenham a lot, are always going to sort of put more Tottenham players than Arsenal players.
Because they're blood English players.
Well, of course they do. If you're a young English player trying to get on and you want to play for a big side, go to Spurs. Because simple reasons, they will play you. But it's even before, even when Harry Redknapp was there, and even when Martin Jol was there, they're always blooding English players and buying the best English talent. The best English talent always felt that they were never going to get into a Chelsea, a Liverpool, a Man United up to a point, and definitely not at Arsenal, because we were exclusively going for foreign players. So if you wanted to make your career, players like Carrick went to Spurs from West Ham, knew he was going to get a game. You got Dele Alli, he could have gone to Liverpool, but he's gone
from MK Dons.
Yeah, MK Dons, but he's been put straight in the first team. You know what I mean? So there's it's always going to be an English player, and you've got Kieran Trippier, came from Burnley. He was at first he was like second choice right back, but look at him now. He eventually got in front of Walker, played for England in the World Cup. Now he's got his move to Atletico Madrid. So Spurs have got a good record of blooding English players.
All right, let's start in goal. Leno or Lloris?
Leno at the moment, because I think Lloris he was very fallible last season, and I think he's still fallible, and I still don't think that he commands his areas as well as Leno does. More experienced though, but at the moment, in terms of like performances, I'll go Leno.
Right, currently Hector Bellerin is injured, and Arsenal have got a makeshift in Maitland Niles, and Spurs have sold Trippier, as you said. And they're using is it Walker Peters?
Walker Peters apparently he's injured, so he'll be playing this Sunday. But in terms of you've got to go I'll go with a more natural right back, and that's why I'm going to go with Walker Peters. I've heard some good things, from his days in the Spurs youths, and he's the next one of the production line. And I think if he keeps himself fit, he'll be in England international. So I've got to go, and I don't think that Maitland Niles is a natural right back anyway. He's just like he's what I call an Alan Harper.
He's like a Remy Gard now, utility man.
No, I think he's a bit better than Remy Gard. I'll call him Alan Harper, because he used to play for Everton in '85, and basically he could play right back, he could play defence, he could play midfield, holding midfield, attacking midfield, and he was one of those players who was good at everything, but he couldn't lay down a place. And I put Ainsley in that category.
Right, let's look at the centre backs now. 9 out of 10 people go with the Spurs centre-backs over Arsenal centre-backs. David Luiz, Socrates, where Spurs you've got Sanchez and you've also got Alderweireld. Let's name the 2 centre-backs.
Well, the thing is that it's not as... You look at it, if it was Vertonghen and like Alderweireld, then you probably would go with those 2. But you're definitely going to go with Alderweireld because he just reads the game really well. He smells danger. He's a pessimistic, and he's very good on the ball as well. And he's useful at set pieces. So for him, he's definitely going to play. But in terms of like Davids and Sanchez, if you look at all the goals that Spurs have chipped, a lot of them have been down his side of the pitch. He has the attributes to be a top defender in world football, but his concentration levels do let him down a lot. And if you look at the North London derby last year at Wembley, it was his mistake that led to the goal. I'll play David Luiz, got experience.
Oh wow, you're talking about concentration and you're talking about letting in goals or conceding chances. David Luiz, for many people, was the criminal of the Liverpool game.
Who's got a Champions League medal in it and won a big trophies? Who's played them in World Cups? Who's got the most experience? The fact with David Luiz is, the problem with David Luiz is that, yeah, he has a rush of blood, but on his day, when he does defend, he's very good in the air. He's what we need, because if we're going to try to play out the back, then you need someone like David Luiz on the side. For me, he goes above Sanchez.
Next centre back next to him.
Oh, so Alderweireld. Oh, you mean are you playing a back 3 or just 2?
We're going to play 4-4-2.
Well, you go 4-4-2. Alderweireld's next to David Luiz all day long. Alderweireld's one of the best defenders in English football. You know, I say that. I don't even say that with gritty teeth. You know, football's football. You know, you can have all your banter, but you know, don't let banter get in the way of facts.
To be fair, Alderweireld, I've never really seen him struggle in the game. You know, he always manages to be in the right place. He always manages to be positioned correctly, and overall, he usually defends quite solidly.
I think it's all about concentration. People like Harry Maguire, Alderweireld, and John Terry, and Tony Adams as well. Who needs pace when you're in the right position all the time? You know, you got to be quick up there. You got to be able to smell danger, and those 4 centre halves smell danger, and that's why they're always going to be in like top 11s around the country. Those sort of, well, Terry's retired and so Tony Adams, but you know, Maguire and Alderweireld, you look at a Premiership all defence, those 2 names go into it.
Left back, are we going for Monreal or are we going for Danny Rose? I think this is pretty simple. You know, I would go for Danny Rose.
Well, 2 years ago, it would have been 50-50 because Monreal was probably one of our better players. You know, like I said, whilst then we were struggling and whilst players were not playing to the best of their potential, you know, like I said, Nacho was a regular 7.5 out of 10, man. In, 16-17 season, didn't put a foot wrong. The season afterwards, he didn't put a foot wrong. And then it's only last season where obviously age is getting to him and probably he's probably lost that bit of yard of pace. He's making mistakes. But Danny Rose, come on, Danny Rose is probably one of the best left backs. You know, most underrated left backs. I mean, not the best, underrated left backs in the country. You know, you ask any Arsenal fan, you know, like I said, in private without their mates, would you have Danny Rose on your side? And I said, yeah, I have Danny Rose on my side for a simple reason. He's a nuisance. He's a pain in the arse. He doesn't know when he's beaten. He doesn't know he's beaten. You look at that Champions League final when he was the only one who was kept on going, trying to do something, and he can defend. He can defend, and you know, Pepe's on that. Pepe, it'd be a nice little battle between him and Pepe on Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, I've decided to do a 4-3-3 instead of a 4-4-2. So we're looking at the midfield area. Again, this is of much debate. Yeah. Arsenal have Xhaka, Guendouzi, Torreira. Spurs, Dele Alli won't be playing, I don't think, but Spurs have Harry Winks, etc. Name your midfield 3 for me.
Well, the thing is, right, it's going to be a different one because Harry Winks does things I like. Because the thing is, he's good on the ball, he's good in possession. You know, he keeps it tidy, and like I say, he doesn't. One of the things, right, is he keeps it ticking along. He's one who, because you set us up the attacks in a very quiet way, and that's how I like.
Gilberto Silva.
Well, not quite, because I don't think he's got the physicality of Gilberto Silva, but he doesn't give the ball away, and that's the type of midfielder I like. You got Guendouzi, who like I said,
still learning his craft.
He loves him a lot. Emery loves him a lot, but let's be honest. when Emery's chosen, he hasn't really let us down. Really, he's potentially. I think he's going to be a fantastic player, and I'd rather he be a fantastic player with us than someone else. So you've got him to choose for. Xhaka divides opinion. We all know what Xhaka can do. He's a great long pass on the ball. Especially on his day, especially when it comes to diagonal balls, and also he can play a good long pass through up to the forwards. But he has deficiencies without the ball. When you have a mobile midfielder, Xhaka's found wanting. His position is not the greatest, and you have to give Xhaka a lot of protection if you play him in the side. You know what I mean? So I don't know. You've got like Torreira. A lot of Arsenal fans see him a cult hero, but on the ball sometimes he's not the greatest, and I can see why Emery leaves him out. And you've got Dembele, bought him for 65 million. Struggled so far for me. I know he's got to get.
He's got a lot of presence about him in midfield.
Presence about him, and he's probably someone I would definitely put. Sissoko, let's be honest with Sissoko, he's very effective. Yeah. He's very effective to the extent that he's a battering ram who could turn defensive into attack by just making a sprint, and by taking midfielders with him. So that's very effective as well. He doesn't score enough goals for me. So and then obviously you've got Christian Eriksen as well, who
creates buckets of chances every season.
Christian Eriksen is he's what I call a two-tone footballer. Like for instance, what he'll do is that he'll tend to sort of drop just behind the midfield, so he can be like the quarterback, where it's hard to mark him, and also sometimes he could just play in the middle or just get him behind the like I said, behind the front two. So for me, it's an hard one. But if you want to ask me, put me head in line, I'm going to go Ndombele, Eriksen, and Winks.
Wow. So you're going for the Spurs majority midfield as an Arsenal man?
Because it's only because of the way they play the football. That's the midfield I would like in my side in terms of the balance. You know what I mean?
Right, now up front, this is what I find really interesting. There's some great forward players on display. I mean, I love Son. I think he's an amazing winger who can also play through the middle. Harry Kane, Aubameyang, Pepe. Wow, some attacking talent on display.
Harry Kane's the best striker in the world, so he's getting in that team. And so if you're playing, if you're playing Harry Kane, you can't play Aubameyang. So my front three would be Harry Kane, Lacazette, and Pepe.
Wow, Pepe.
I like Song how he plays his football, but I just think in terms of potential, I think Lacazette is probably better. Song's more effective at running with the ball. He's got a goal threat, but Lacazette is better at holding the ball up. He's better at bringing people into play. You don't see that with Song. You just see Song. I've never seen Song bring players into play. I've seen Song kind of run behind the stretch teams with his pace on the left and right hand side. And also, if you want to play him on a shoulder defender with his pace, if you play the ball over the top, Song's your man all day long. But can he hold the ball up and play with his back to goal? Nah, not at all for me. And Lacazette gets in front of him and that. Pepe excites me a lot. I like to see a bit of end product, but I think potentially he's going to have to play. See, I've left that Aubameyang, and he's scored more goals than Harry Kane.
Yes.
But Harry Kane's the best striker in the country. You can't leave him out.
So you rate Harry Kane over Aguero?
Well, yeah, because simply reason, Aguero's in the sort of autumn of his career. Harry Kane hasn't even reached his peak yet.
Interesting. Well, it's going to be a very entertaining North London derby, but that is
It'll be an entertaining North London derby. I can tell you right now, it's not going to be like that at all. If with Spurs going for what they are, they're going to come for a point. Trust me.
Well, that's our combined 11. I think it's fair to say I think there's a bit more Spurs players in the starting lineup, mainly due to Spurs having a more consistent team over the years. But Arsenal coming through.
If you ask some other Arsenal fans, you ask like Ty from Arsenal Fan TV, and ask, he'll probably have every Arsenal player in there. You know what I mean? He'll probably have the T lady in there over a Spurs player. You know what I mean?
And the bench, the coach, Emery or Pochettino? That's a good question.
Oh, Emery, because Emery's won more trophies than Poch. Sorry.
Oh, wow, Spurs fans.
Nothing personal against Poch. I respect Poch as a coach. He's made Spurs into a team that believes they can win trophies, and they are playing important games. And maybe because of maybe luck or lack of it, that's probably why they haven't been able to get over the line. Maybe they've probably played teams who've just been fresher than them in finals, and that's why Liverpool were fresher than them. That's why they won the Champions League. And then you look at the semi-finals against Chelsea and Man United. Man United and Chelsea were just fresher than them, and that's why they lost those 2 semi-finals. But they're still a good side. I'm not going to be made a prat myself and say they're crap when they're not. They're better than us, you know, like statistically over the last probably three years. So it'd be only foolish to say any different.
Kenny, it's been a pleasure. That's our combined Spurs and Arsenal 11. My man, Kenny Ken. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Pep Talk UK. Pro Beez, Kenny Ken.